Hello, class. Welcome to the lecture. This is week 4, or the final week of patterns and recognition. I want to congratulate you on your efforts, and we are at the end of the tunnel, and we are going to finish this course. And I'm very happy about that, and I hope you're just as excited as I am. I have seen some very good work this week. I've seen some very interesting productions, and I'm glad that you are sharing it, and I hope you continue the good work. I want to recap what we have in week 1, a little bit of bookkeeping in week 4. I want to remind you that the course grade that you will receive is 100% with the following division. There's going to be a post-course knowledge survey that's going to be 5% of your grade. As you remember, you did a pre-course knowledge survey in week 1, and that's 0%. That's because you just started, and we really don't know, what you already know, and it wouldn't be fair to grade you then. But now we want you to, make a concerted effort. The post-course knowledge survey is exactly the same as the pre-knowledge survey. So we're not throwing anything new at you. But you do want to, review and make sure you get the answers correct, because 5% will knock you off A. If you get too many wrongs. 10 questions. We'll talk more about it at the end of the session. If you have not already done so, you must update your mastery journal glossary. That's 5% of your grade. There's a list of terms that you should define, and your mastery journal should be insightful. Now, that's pretty much open to all instructors, and after the course, I probably don't have any whipping on you, so to speak. But you will be continue on and finalize your capstone project. So I hate to be saying this, but when you are doing your mastery journal, you have to have all the department in mind, especially your capstone advisors, and show them that what you have learned. Okay, so this is more for them than for me. Because after week 4, what can I do to you? Professionalism is 10% of your grade, and as far as I'm concerned, so far that should be a freebie for everybody. Everybody's being, I hope, very professional, behaving in full sail academic etiquette requirements, and I shouldn't see anybody losing 10 points, 10% of their points over professionalism GPS. Okay, so I'm not going to dwell on that. Your grades in this program, I think it's very competitive in nature. 20% is just basically bookkeeping. So the other 80%, 4% projects and 4% discussion. So if you haven't done very well on your projects or your discussions, and they're in the B's and C's, I wouldn't worry too much about it, because you're probably going to be elevated by your professionalism and your master journal and post-knowledge survey. I mean, you can't possibly go wrong on those. So, and as you know, you can go into FSO and check your grade status. So we're going to concentrate on the discussions and the projects, but that's a little bit review on your grades right now. Again, please do not forget to update your templates and glossary if you have not already done so. Okay, and it's pretty much open for the week, for the month rather. Post-knowledge survey. If you were to click on post-knowledge survey and click on that link, And that will start the survey, and it will look just like this, just like week 1. You do just the same thing, answer 10 questions, 10 of the same questions, and hopefully you're more confident now. When you're done, you have a completion screen. Make sure you capture that and submit it to FSO as proof of completion. Week 4 activity, our final week, and I think it's a breeze. It's very easy. That's compared with week 3. You do have the lecture, which you're in right now, textbook reading, articles, videos, and they're very short for this week. You have to evaluate decision in your discussion, and hopefully you can do a capstone update, and we'll talk about it. We're trying to hit 2 birds with 1 stone, but there are ways around it. And of course, the post course knowledge survey that we've already talked about. There is a student course evaluation administered by FOSAL, and it is open until after days after the course closes. I do not get to see them, even when I get to be critiqued by them. I don't know who did what. I get a summary report. So please do not worry that it's not it's not secure. It's very secure. Feel free to voice your opinion, complain about me, complain about the course. We want to see your feedback. We love to see positive feedback. But if you see anything that I can do, we can do as a department, if you have any suggestions, by all means, that's your sounding board, and it is completely confidential. And by then, your grades have been posted, and there's no way I could tell who said what, who did what. But I take course evaluations very seriously, and I use that as a feedback so that I can improve my work. So please take a moment to do the course evaluation. This week's reading assignment, chapter 10, 11, and 12. So if you did the stockbroker as last week, I recommended that you sort of preview chapter 11. So if you have already done that, the last orphan chapter is 13. I really wish you could find the time to read it, but if you don't, it's optional. Only because we want to divide 3 chapters per week. Articles to read, pretty straightforward. It's a constantly updating list, but it should look something like this. Videos, not too many. They're a little bit on the long side though. So you do want to allocate some time where you could sit down and look at these videos. Discussion post 1, you'll be evaluating a decision, and you want to continue sort of from week 3. But this time you're not restricted to stock market. You want to speak from a personal standpoint that you with what you have done in week 3. You want to discuss an investment scenario that you're personally familiar with. It not necessarily have to be capital, meaning that it doesn't have to be cash-based, such as stocks and bonds and other things, gold. It could be housing, energy, resources, etc. As long as you know the history, as long as you can apply what you have learned and give us meaningful feedback. So do not give us a scenario and then come back to us and say, well, I don't have data. I don't know what the outcome is. Okay, then you're just hitting yourself in the foot. It could be any investment that you have a personal connection to. So it could be a family investment. It could be somebody you're close to, so on and so forth. But you must know the history, the outcome, and you must be able to make intelligent analysis. what you want to do is you want to use apply Bayes theorem, and you want to calculate the probability of success in hindsight. Okay, because we know that the history. If you want to do an ongoing investment, you could, but it could be a past investment. And what you want to do is now using your newfound knowledge to revisit the investment and apply algorithms to it and see, given who you are today, what would have been different. You want to evaluate, I guess, your past decision. So if it's an ongoing investment, it's probably not going to give you a very good grade, because we just don't know what the outcome is, and you wouldn't be able to answer some of the questions in sort of a more hindsight, in more of a gut feeling, looking back. So you want to rate the cost effectiveness. You want to be a little bit nostalgic and say, is it a worthwhile endeavor to start? And I don't really want an introversion diary confession. I want an analysis of your the results of your analysis. So I want a technical inversion. I want analytical inversion. I don't want your emotional reflection. I want you to see originally how your data was collected, the logistic of the method. Did something go wrong that ended up in a losing failure? Did something did really well, and your data was part of it? And I want you to look back and say, given what you have today, given the analysis what you have today, what would you have done differently? Would you have changed your decision? How did you monitor it in the past, and how would you monitor it now? And what new decision you would have made differently now that you're older and wiser? What was the outcome? And have you, if you had what you have today, what different type of outcome would you have anticipated? What have you done right? What have you done wrong? And I don't want an emotional or monetary reflection. I want an analytical reflection based on what patterns have you not recognized in the past that caused, or what patterns have you stumbled upon, and in hindsight, you know the key to your success analytically. Okay, so I want you to give me a technical reflection of what hindsight, this whole experience have taught you, and what patterns have you ignored, what patterns have you picked up, how does it influence you. When you are writing this, I want you to concentrate on pattern recognition, because there's probably so much factors relating to your personal experience and investment. But we just want the part that relates to patterns. So that's your discussion for this week. This is a site. You'll probably find a lot of other sites to counter this, but there are a lot of sites that will tell you what type of financial analyst analysis report you should be giving. So just in case you don't know what type of introversion you should give us, look at some of these financial analysis websites, and that will give you an idea of how you should put together your audio presentation. So this is just one example. You do not have to use it. I just want to make you aware of when you give a financial analysis, even if it's your own scenario, now you're the professional in the making, you consider yourself giving yourself pattern recognition analysis. So there are a lot of websites out there that this is another one that uses Bayesian method. So one of your criteria is you want to use Bayes theorem, and this will give you an idea of how you should talk about it. I'm not looking in a discussion or a full-fledged math workout. But you do have to be a little bit intellectual. I hope that there's some analysis that goes on rather than you just talking about Bayesian 1,000 different ways. Okay, so this website will also give you some overview. There are tons and tons of it. Financial investment, as I mentioned last week, is a huge whale in the market, and you should be able to find a lot of information. And what I don't want is giving examples and every student produce the same thing. Okay, so these are just two examples. If you just copy them, you're not going to get very good grade. I want you to do your own research and come up with your own analysis. Post 2, you want to look at pick one from your peers, do your research, and counter them. Maybe there are another site that you found, and you have to look at their investment and based on your knowledge as if you are supporting analysts. And maybe there are patterns that they didn't notice. So you want to be very technical in your feedback. Emotional feedback, those are good. We like you to be constructive and supportive, but that will not earn you good grades behind the scene. So you do want to keep that in mind. We don't when your peers come to you and make postings that are very critical and recommend things that you have neglected. That would not, if they point out something that you have not seen, that would not hurt your grade. So do not feel offended if your peers are trying to give you recommendations. We want to see a community synergy. So any type of technical exchanges between the students will only enhance your grades. It will never hurt your grades. There are two parts to the capstone update. Okay, part 1 and part 2. Part 1, maybe you already done it, but you need. We are hoping at this point at least you do something with your capstone relating to the course. But if you absolutely have to stay with your working company of a different choice, there's no prerequisite in this course that you must, but I encourage you to at least do something to your capstone. And hopefully that will make it easier because by now you should have some data that you're working with that you can, sort of as a freebie. But maybe you have other things that you have tons of data. Okay, there, depending on your source of data, make sure it's quality data. I have students who come to me and say they don't have data or they have to purchase data. I want to reiterate that there's no budget for you to purchase data, and we definitely have no requirements for you to purchase data. We cannot possibly provide any data and all data to all students. So we give you latitude to select your working company, and hopefully it's something that you have a passion about and that you have so far in the past months collected enough data for you to proceed. So part 1, if you already have data, you just skip it, and hopefully you already have data. If you don't have data, then I would say this is the time where you really have to stare at it and handle it. But you need data by this point, and I can't really define what your data are. I can't possibly do that for all students. I can't do your work for you. So you can't have the attitude of teacher, I pick my working company and teacher go get me the data. We can't have that. So once you have your data, here's the mission. Okay, again, we hammer Bayes' theorem to death. By now you are already a pro in Bayes, but we want you to apply it to your capstone company. or your working company. I'm not going to grade on your capstone. So if I do want you to move along. So if you don't have capstone, don't send me tons of email. Stay with your working company for the course and use existing data that you have. But add to it. Okay, don't resubmit the work. You don't have to submit new work. But it's okay if you absolutely decide to not use your capstone for week 4 and you want to use a different company or a company that you already have data to. So you don't need my permission for that. But anyways, you want to rehash your base algorithm, apply to situation, and you want to analyze your clustering, your association, your correlation, your network analysis, so your trends. I want you to basically pull everything together for the month and give me a final analysis. So you want to use not just base, but everything you have learned so far, and you want to throw that on your capstone company. Okay, so that way, if you walk out of this course, you already have something to show for your capstone as far as patterns and recognition is concerned. Audio, hopefully this is an audio of your capstone. With relation to the pattern recognition, with the major driving algorithm being base, but you do have to pull everything together. The more you can show me in this final product that it pertains to your capstone, and you have applied everything you have learned from the book, from the videos, from the analysis, from the financials, the better. Okay, so feel free to go over the 5 to 10 minute production. If you're unhappy with the previous productions and get critiques, this is the best time to fix all those problems and come up with a presentational material. Now, please somehow when you do the submission, do let me know if you're using your capstone company in this production. I would strongly, if you're thinking about an A, do use your capstone. I would expect most students or all students to use their capstone for this project. But if but do indicate it with your submission, I'm using capstone, or you're not. The reason you tend to get a better grade is that by now you have worked on your capstone for X number of months, and I would assume that you have a history or a certain depth. Whereas if you were to just pick on a project that a working company that you have done for the previous assignments or from a different course, you wouldn't have that kind of history or months of work to show for. So by nature, I would think that you would be better in a better position with your capstone. I strongly recommend that you use a capstone for this one. But I don't want you to not able to submit anything. So if for whatever reason you choose a different working company, unless it's something very strong, chances are it's something that you have not put as much time in as is with your capstone. So I do not discriminate against the companies that you choose, but I take it for granted that you probably have more to show for in your capstone. With the exception, of course, if you use the company that you currently work for and you've been working for the company for 5 years, and you can produce a better algorithm analysis for your for this project, and it would just befuddles me why if you have that kind of history that is not your capstone. So levels of depth is what I'm looking for in your final project. And having said that, please don't forget to do the course evaluation at the end of the course. It is open after the course is closed. again, I don't see it. I don't know who did what. It's completely anonymous, but it does help us improve the course materials for the future students. So you'll be doing a service, and I'd appreciate any feedback you can give us or give me to help the students learn and help me become a better teacher. And finally, I want to say a final goodbye. I want you to put a lot of work into this final project. I can't wait to see them. I think I'll be thrilled to see your pattern recognition aspect of your capstone project. And a final goodbye, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity to watch you grow and share with me the wonderful presentation, hear all your voices, and I really enjoy this course, and I hope you will find that the skills that you have learned in this course will benefit you in your future endeavors. And again, thank you for attending the lecture, and goodbye.